Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Brooke Brigham, I'm the attorney.
And I'm Tess Brigham, I'm the therapist.
And today we are going to be talking about the Chrisleys, Todd and Julie Chrisley and their family. The Chrisleys was a very, very popular reality show that was on for like 10 years, almost
10 seasons. Yeah.
And I had never seen an episode of it before. And I always kind of wondered, who are these people? But I just didn't have time to come up to speed. Like the show had already been on for a long time. And
I don't have that kind of time.
I don't have that kind of time. So I became interested in them when they were indicted for financial crimes and were convicted of those crimes, went to prison, did a couple of years in prison. And then through the advocacy of their daughter, Savannah, who was on the show, she got into the right rooms with the right people and worked it. And she got President Trump to pardon them. And so they were both released from federal prison in May. And we're going to just kind of go through what happened and why they went to prison. And then also I want to talk about this whole pardon process because it's come up a lot lately in the news. And the presidents are using it a lot more now. I have some numbers of how many times the president has used their pardon power, and it's getting out of control.
Yeah, it is very out of control. I just like to say, and I don't want to be a negative person, but I can't stand these people. I really struggled because we watched this Nightline, Impact Nightline, which is the Chrisleys' Life After Lockup.
Yes, I was caught by that title. I was scrolling through Hulu and it said Life After Lockup, the Chrisleys. And I'm like, well, if you put it that way, yeah, I do.
So check out the documentary because it's not long. It's
like half an hour.
40 some odd, it's an hour-long show with commercials and all that. So it was, I learned a few things about them, but I never watched the show. I thought they seemed like scammers. They felt scammy to me before. And and I think watching them get convicted and then pardoned after a couple years it's
hard to stomach. And also because they were indicted by a grand jury, they were found guilty by a jury. Their convictions were upheld on appeal.
Yes.
Okay. But this is not a politically motivated case because a lot of these pardons, especially the ones that Biden did, were politically motivated because they were related to crimes that were politically motivated. So, that's the justification there. But here this is very similar to what Joe and Teresa Giudice were convicted of. So in 2019, they were charged in federal court with 12 counts of bank fraud, wire fraud, and tax evasion. And so basically what they were doing is they were taking out these massive loans. I think it was $30 million worth of loans. Now, first, Todd called himself a real estate investor.
Yes.
And entrepreneur, real estate investor. He had another term he used. Basically he, I don't know, bought and sold property developer, real estate developer, bought properties, developed them, sold them, made a profit. So he and Julie took out like $30 million in loans from all of these community banks, smaller banks that maybe like you might have a relationship with them, or, they're maybe not as discerning, I guess maybe as like the larger banks. But anyway, they inflated their net worth and their income and whatnot in order to get these loans, and then filed for bankruptcy. And when they were charged, they basically blamed their accountants.
Yes.
But they were, so the key witness against them was this guy, Mark Braddock, who was Todd's former partner. And he testified that he helped Todd and Julie falsify documents. And he also said he and Todd were lovers.
Yes, I want to get into that. The comments that Todd is such a massive piece of shit narcissist disguised as something else. Like he thinks he's coming across very different. Some of the things that he said about this guy, he's like, if I ever slept with him, he would be coming back for seconds and thirds. Do you think I would ever sleep with someone? Basically what he said was, I would not have sex with this guy because he doesn't have any money and he's not hot enough.
Right. Right.
It's like, I'm sorry. Is that not the most bitchy?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to generalize or stereotype, but isn't that?
He comes off as, people have been saying this for years. Everyone's like, this man is straight, he comes off as very effeminate. And I know, that sounds terrible to say. I know this isn't particularly politically correct, but, anyway, they blamed everybody. They said that, that this guy, Mark, had hacked into their emails because they introduced all these emails at trial. Where they were, incriminating. Oh, no, he hacked into our emails. That's all fake. It's all a hoax. So they were convicted along with their accountant. His last name was Tarantino. And they were ordered to pay $17 million in restitution. He was sentenced to 12 years and she was sentenced to 7 years. Now, mind you, the whole time that they're on trial for this, they're out on bail. So they're charged in 2019. The trial is in 2022. And then they don't go into custody. They don't surrender into custody till 2023. And so when they went into custody, they had 2 minor children. One is Grayson. And then they, Todd and Julie adopted Todd's granddaughter, who was the daughter of his son from a prior marriage, who had substance abuse problems. And she was only like 12 at the time.
Yeah, 10. I think she's 12 now or something.
So then Savannah became the mother to these 2 minor children. And I'm not quite sure how she supported them because, they're still living in this big house. I don't know who's paying for it, for the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's odd too, because how are you making that happen? Because they were like, well, Savannah, she stepped up. She was the sole breadwinner. She started a podcast, Masked Singer, Special Forces. And again, I think all of those things pay well. And I'm sure she gets lots of downloads on our podcast. But us as podcasters know that it's not, it's not like someone's backing up a Brinks truck and dumping.
Right. It's not that. It's not enough to maintain that lifestyle. It's probably enough to pay your bills for a couple months, maybe.
Yes, with that lifestyle. It would be enough if they were living in a nice condo somewhere.
Right.
Or living a very simple life. But yeah, it seemed like she was still living this crazy life, pulling out this drawers. We have all these kids that come here. So it's like a goddamn 7-Eleven in a drawer that she opens
that was
up.
weird. Is that a good idea?
Really afford all this? I don't think you can. You owe $17 million in restitution. And then they're fighting to get that money back. I don't understand how that works. If you pardon someone, so then the $17 million they owe, they don't owe anymore?
No, they still owe it. I have no idea what they mean by they're trying to get some of that back. They did not explain that at all.
Yeah, they say that at the end. They said they had paid, they have paid some of the $17 million, and now they're trying to they're fighting to get it back.
Well, they're not going to get it back. No. They're not going to get it back. No, they were, and that's the thing. These people obviously loved being on reality TV. Mm-hmm. They loved the attention. They loved this illusion of wealth. And they apparently were willing to do anything to keep this facade going. And, finally, at some point, you're going to get caught. You cannot do this game of cards forever, or house of cards, I should say. So everything really came crashing down. And then, of course, they're acting like they're victims. And of course, when they get to prison, they're shocked. Oh my God, there's no air conditioning. Julie's like, I'm just thinking about how can I get through the summer with no air conditioning? This is the kind of stuff that they're worried about. Okay, so Todd and Julie have a lot of complaints. Mm-hmm. They first are complaining and blaming the jury. And Todd says, this was not a jury of his peers. There were no multimillionaires or people in the film industry on the jury.
Yeah, guess what, Todd? You're not a multimillionaire. I think I have more money than you. And guess what? You're not in the film industry.
No.
I hate to be the one to tell you, you're not Brad Pitt, honey.
Also,
what?
Do you really think a jury of your peers literally means a jury of your peers? No, it's kind of a euphemism.
So you know what? If you were if you're a multimillionaire in the film industry, you're okay with tax evasion.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah, I would never convict another multimillionaire in the film industry of tax evasion because that's just what we do.
Because, we all have accountants that we work with for a long time, and they steal from us, and then they get into our emails, and then they bust into our email accounts, and then they claim that we're sleeping with them.
Yeah, they set us up. And also, it wasn't just the jury. This was a heavily Democratic county.
Yes.
With a judge appointed by Obama.
Interesting. So it was the Democrats. It's the Democrats' fault that they stole all this money and got in trouble.
Yep. And they, in the trial, they were allowed to portray them as an entitled white family with money to burn. Again.
I'm sorry.
Is that not accurate?
Because we see in the first episode of the show, you tell us that you two spend something like, was it $300,000 a year on clothes?
Yeah. And that closet.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Mariah Carey doesn't even have that many clothes. I mean,
it's unreal. It's just all of it. Like, it's so hard being white and privileged. God, yeah. I mean, people are just against you. You cannot get a fair trial, even though you absolutely did this and you were caught red-handed and there was all these things that do it. But if you're white, hey, the world is just against you.
Yeah. So then they also have a lot of complaints about what life was like in prison.
Yes.
Now, we both heavily support prison reform. We think prisoners should be treated humanely.
Yes.
And, however, it was just the way that they complained. Mm-hmm. Of course, they complained about the food, and Julie didn't know how she was going to get through the summer without any air conditioning because the air conditioning is always going out. And, I'm sure it was awful. Prison is meant to be a punishment.
Yes.
But you should have a minimum, amount of accommodations. Who knows? I'll give him some slack on that, but it's just the way that they come off.
Yes.
they come off terribly, no matter what they say.
Well, yeah, sorry, keep going.
Oh, well, okay. Now I want to switch over to talk about Savannah, and I don't know how she pulled this off, honestly. I mean, I do and I don't. So, she was on a mission to get her parents a pardon or anything, any sort of relief.
She's like, I'm not raising these 2 kids. I'm in my 20s. Yeah. I look great. I know. I need to go live my life.
It's the prime of my life. I look the best I'm ever going to look. I can't be saddled with this. So, and she brings up this whole, she kind of gives the same little speech. She ends up speaking at the Republican convention, this last one, with Trump. And she brings up how this was prosecuted in the most heavily Democratic district in the state by an Obama appointed judge. And, she says the prosecutor called the Chrisley family the Trumps of the South. And she says, it was meant as an insult, but I take it as a badge of honor.
Okay.
So she's going around the country talking to whoever, trying to get into any rooms or anywhere she can get to meet the right people. She has a lot of Trump hats in a lot of different colors.
Yes.
It's like custom designed. She even had a hat and a jacket that matched.
Yes.
The jacket had her name embroidered on it.
Yes. I'm sure Trump's selling that stuff.
Very fancy. So then she somehow gets the attention of this woman, Alice Johnson, who is Trump's pardon czar. Now, you'll recall Alice Johnson is the woman who Kim Kardashian helped get a pardon from Trump, the last administration. And so now Alice is, doing this for Trump. And look, I don't have a problem, with Kim Kardashian has used her celebrity to help a lot of people in prison. And, it's not that, it's just the Chrisleys, again, there's a paper trail, there's a record of proof of financial crimes to which they were convicted and upheld on appeal.
Yes.
And they're trying to say that the justice system was weaponized against the Chrisleys. Like this is some sort of political thing. And it's like, no, this is not. It's a financial crime.
Okay. And you know what else? No one gave a shit about your family. Like, I'm sorry, you were not even on a reality show on Bravo or MTV. You were on a reality show on the USA Network.
Oh, wow.
Like a fifth-tier network. You were a D-list celebrity at best. Nobody was going after you guys. You did this and got caught.
Your parents did this.
Your parents did this.
Yeah, she didn't have anything to do with it, I don't think. Yeah. But, so that's how it happened. And it seemed to happen fairly easily for her and fairly quickly. And I have to say that if she wasn't beautiful and blonde,
yes,
and articulate and all that, Trump wouldn't have given her the time of day.
No, he would not have.
He says on the phone, they show this phone call where he's calling her to tell them that he's going to sign these pardons. And he's like, I hear your parents are terrific people. Okay. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
From who? Or what they're accused of, or what? Yeah. Just because you're hot and your parents seem like terrific people, here's your pardon.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that in this Impact Nightline, they were interviewing one of their, legal correspondents. I'm sorry, I didn't take his name down.
Dan
but I thought he made a very, very good point, which is he's like, every pardon is different. It's apples and oranges. You cannot see each pardon differently. And he went back through and he said, exactly what you said. This was an independent thing. They were convicted. The appeals held up, they did this, this is not, their experience wasn't Alice Johnson's experience. It wasn't all of the people that Kim Kardashian's been fighting for. These are people that were wrongly convicted, that had been in prison on death row for 20 harsh sentences, 20, 30 years, but like they were going to die. I mean, this is people of color. This is a very different situation.
Do you know what Alice Johnson just had some drugs in her car that her boyfriend put in there?
Yeah. A million years ago.
Got like a minimum 20-year sentence or something. Yeah.
So that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anywho. And so Todd says, I understand how it could look like political favoritism, but she's lost a lot along the way. I guess talking about Savannah. Oh, and then they even brought up that there's talk of a congressional run.
Yes.
For Savannah.
Yes, Savannah Chrisley. You know what? In this crazy world, another reality person is now going to run. Oh, this is great.
But I mean, you know what? It let's say she, had a history of anything related to government, law, community organizing, anything. She has no experience. She's not qualified to run for Congress. I mean,
that hasn't stopped anyone, bro.
It hasn't stopped anyone. I know, but what happened along the way? I mean, honestly, the Constitution. I think that the founding fathers envisioned that these Congress people would just be kind of people in their community who wanted to serve the government. They didn't need the money. They would go to Washington for 2 years and then come back and let someone else then go.
Mm-hmm.
It's now just turned into something where, it's been bastardized. But no, she's not qualified to run for Congress. Why are we even talking about this?
I don't know, because she pulled off this amazing stunt, but it's like, and they're sort of skirting around this because, again, this is alleged. I don't know if this is true, but what I had heard was that someone gave them a donation, like that.
Yeah, I had heard that too. They made a donation to the Trump campaign.
Yeah. And that's what did it. So again, I just want to say, being white, being attractive, and having the money allowed her to get into the places in order to get this pardon. I mean, they're acting like the way Julie and Todd act like that Savannah is some kind of crusader who's been out and she's like, I got into rooms in any room that anyone would ever speak to me and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I'm sure this was a lot and you did do a lot for your parents and it was okay. And I don't know what she thinks about her parents. I don't know if she thinks they're guilty or whatever it is, but this was not, I'm sorry, but they're acting like this was this 20-year battle. And I mean, really, this was like a couple of years.
Yeah. They served 2.5 years. And again, how did she get on the stage at the Republican National Convention?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. How? And so that was one of the things about their whole, a couple of things. So people were talking about like Todd Chrisley makes a great reality person because he'll say anything that's outrageous on camera. And that unfortunately and this is what makes a great reality star. And this is very unfortunate because we're now applauding people and praising people and that just say outrageous things, that just say things that whether they're true or not, whether they're real or not, whether they hurt people or not. Yeah. That this has become sort of this acceptable thing that people are just allowed to, okay, just say all this stuff. And this is why he's so great and special. He says all these crazy things. And then he goes into this whole thing about Savannah. He's such a narcissist that he can't even say, I'm really proud of her or whatever. He says something around that. He's like, I thought to myself, God, I did such a good job raising her. Like he says something to that effect. He's taking
credit for it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm so good. I am so good at this. I did it too well. That she is so brilliant that she did this for us. It was just like, God, you're such a narcissist. You can't even give her moment in the sun.
Right. And I think they started planning even before the pardons. It seems to me that they were already starting to produce and film for this new reality show. So this new show is coming out soon. I think it's called Back to Reality. And they film I think, all of Savannah's activity, trying to get the pardons. And then they film when Todd and Julie actually come out, walk out of the prison and come home. And at the end, they show a bunch of scenes from this upcoming reality show. And there's lots of drama. There's an estranged daughter, Todd's daughter from his first marriage, Lindsay, who she accused him and I think one of the other brothers of trying to blackmail her over a sex tape. I
always thought this had to do with Savannah. Oh, no. I'd heard about this, and I always thought that had to do with Savannah. I'm like, Savannah's very forgiving of her parents.
Yeah. How does your father get a sex tape of you?
I don't know.
And then use it as blackmail?
Psych Legal Pop. We'll be back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
That's disturbing. And she wrote a letter, and I think this came into evidence I don't know if it was in the trial or in the sentencing, that he had threatened her and,
which I think that he is Mr. Nice. I'm Mr. Jovial, Mr. Nice. And I think that he is a monster. I would put my money on the fact that he is a monster behind the scenes. And so this was one of the themes of this Nightline was that, right, this idea about political power. And, the Chrisleys really, I will say this much, because they do say, hey, if you're given a pardon, would anyone not take it? And I'm like, yeah, anyone would take the pardon. No one's going to turn down the pardon. No one has an issue with that. It makes complete sense. You don't want to be there. But all of it, just the way they talk out of both sides of their mouth about everything, like that they were, this family that was in this Democratic area. And because they were MAGA, they were, people were against them. And then you get on this platform and say, well, we have more pride than take a pardon from Biden. We would never take a pardon from Biden. Yeah, please. And it's like, please, you just told me if someone would give you a pardon, anyone would take it. It's like, which one is it? It's like, yeah, you would. You would take a pardon from Biden. Don't lie. And then also he gets into this, when we get into this whole thing about Hunter Biden and some of these other things, and they want to throw that in everybody's face. It's like, so which one is it? Do you want to get political here? Because you've made this political, and it's because of your political beliefs that you now are out.
Exactly.
So you can't have it both ways, Todd.
Yeah.
You twit.
And again, the prosecution of Hunter Biden was politically motivated. He was convicted of 2 counts. One was for lying on a application to purchase a handgun. They asked if you have any substance abuse problems, and he lied and said no. The other one was because 1 year during the throes of his, meth and alcohol addiction, he didn't file a tax return.
The Chrisleys didn't file tax returns from 2013 to 2016, apparently.
Yeah. So
So you cannot sit there and act like you're better than Hunter Biden. And this is not a political thing at all. Like,
No.
I'm not, listen, we are, if you listen to our show, you know which way our politics lie. It's not that at all. I have such a problem with these people who, Joe and Teresa, all of these people that just, steal. Just steal and steal and steal while the rest of us are following the rules. And so some of this is why this has such a bad taste in people's mouths is there's a bunch of us that follow the rules, file our taxes, pay the things, do the stuff. We're not inflating things. We're not lying. I don't have $300,000 a year in clothes. Like, I'm not living this lifestyle. And so, yeah, there has to be some sort of punishment if you're going to steal and lie.
Well, yeah. And also, look, if Todd and Julie took out these loans for a legitimate purpose, there would be some substantive, tangible result, like a building.
Yes.
Like some real estate. Okay. A development of some sort. There's nothing. You know where that money went? Into their closet, into their home, into their lavish lifestyle. That's what they spent the $30 million on.
Because so they're claiming that their accountant lied and did all this stuff behind their back to
then give them the money?
Yeah, to then give them the money, and that you take what? Wouldn't you then spend? I mean, wouldn't there be a paper trail of this guy, Mark Braddock? Wouldn't there be a paper trail of all the money that he spent?
Yeah, where'd the money go? If you have 30 million in loans, where did the money go? Whose hands got on it? I mean, but that's we're sitting here talking as if this is. I mean, it's not true. They took the money and they spent it on their lavish lifestyle. Period. They have nothing to show for it. Didn't go anywhere else. If they did, their defense would have. I'm sure their defense lawyers, if they could have traced this money to some other source, that it went not to the Chrisleys, but from the bank to somebody else, wouldn't that have come out in trial?
Well, and we know from Karen Reed that people can figure out metadata, right? And if this guy is getting into your emails and writing these emails on in your behalf that you don't notice at all, like you never notice these emails coming in and out because he deleted them or whatever. You of all the times that he did this, there was never a time where you could prove that you weren't in front of a computer. Like, I would think that we'd have to prove like that, if this was your defense, wouldn't you like go and search and go see, I was here at this time. I was here at this time. There would be all those things. They did it. End of story.
Yeah. No, there's no evidence that they didn't do it.
Yeah. But, now they're going to focus on prison reform. And you know what? Julie has made friends that she's going to have until she dies.
Oh, yeah.
And I would really, I wrote down in my notes, like, let's see what they do now. Let's see. These two are all for prison reform, and they've made all these friends, and they've had all of these things. Again, they have zero stories of anyone. I don't know if it was all cut out. But you talk about all these lifelong friends that you've made that are so special to you, but you don't have any stories, anything like that. I'm very curious. Let's see. Are these people going to be on your show?
But Todd read 116 books, including several by Maya Angelou.
Yes. So that really helped him. That really got him to see what? Because you know what? Todd and Maya persecuted. The two of them,
Julie.
No. He relates to Maya so much, being a poor black woman.
A black woman he can relate to,
because now that he's in prison, he's like, Maya Angelou and I were just so interconnected with our stories, our lives, all of these things. Again, if you're sitting there saying that you were targeted because of white.
Yeah,
because of your white entitlement.
He's white, and he's a Republican in a Democratic district, and he's white, and they're discriminating against him.
Yes. And so, if you can come out of what you just went through and not be able to say, you know what, this system, the system's unjust. Savannah's talking about it. She's like, I didn't realize our system was so oh God, how broken it is and how there's so many
they've
problems.
never had to deal with it. They've never
Yeah.
come in contact with it.
Yes, she wants to have a political viewers, and then her goal is to speak to younger viewers about politics or about, I don't know, how about you tell people not to steal? I don't know.
How about just get a real job?
But Todd and Julie, they're getting away from this horrible Democratic area that they're in. They're going back to Charleston, South Carolina. They're going to convert a mansion into a hotel.
Wow.
For a new reality show on Lifetime. I'm like, oh, that's great.
They've built this new reality show around turning a mansion into a hotel.
Yep.
And also Savannah trying to get them a pardon.
Yeah. So what will be very interesting is, this is my prediction, not to be like Heather McDonald, but this is my prediction, which is, I think 10 years from now, something else is going to happen. Like, they're grifters. Grifters got to grift. Grifters have got to grift. So I really do believe that maybe things will be calm for a little bit, but these two are going to get back on it and something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll get caught again.
Yeah, because they don't have the capacity to do anything legally.
Because that would require them to work and actually being a real estate developer is a lot of work, and it's a lot of risk and work and energy, and it takes a long time. It takes a long time to do that. So that's just too much for them.
And at this point, no bank is going to give them a loan.
Oh, that's true.
So they're going to have to find an investor, and I don't know who would be stupid enough to invest that. No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to continue to do reality shows. They're going to hawk products. They're just because they can't do anything else anymore.
Yeah. And they're just going to have to recycle their old clothes. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they're going to accumulate a ton of wealth. But again, wouldn't the government seize all of their assets? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know all this money.
I mean, yeah. If they have a restitution of $17 million, at some point, the government is. It's only been a couple of years, and maybe I don't know, they said they paid some of it back. So maybe the government was satisfied with, them. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what they have. I don't know if they're still in the same house or is this a different house? I'm not really sure. But, also they're still convicted felons because even if you're pardoned, it's,
that is true.
The conviction is still on your record.
So don't lie about that when you're applying for your next loan.
Yeah. Who in the world would be crazy enough to give these people money? I don't know.
But one of the questions that they asked was, will viewers be able to accept the new Chrisleys? Like, are people going to be accepting of them now? And unfortunately, I think, I think sadly, I think the way our country is right now with the politics, I think politically there are people that are going to follow them because this is their way of thinking and their beliefs and pro them. And then I think there's lots of people that it doesn't matter to them who the person is. If that person says funny, outrageous things, they'll just
if he's
go along with it. If he's entertaining.
I can see it is an entertaining family. I can see that.
Yeah, I can see how he's entertaining in his own ways. I just think he's such a narcissistic twit. I can't stand him. And the wife, Julie, I thought she was a little better than him. I thought she was, at least I could stomach her a bit more, but she's no better.
Yeah.
In some ways, but she's less of a narcissist. That's for sure. It wasn't all about her.
Well, I did a little bit of research on pardons and so I find it interesting that, the Constitution gives the president this almost unlimited power because, we were writing this Constitution because we didn't want to have a king, we wanted to limit the power of the government and the checks and balances in the different branches. But in the Constitution, it says the president has the power to grant pardons for offenses against the United States. It's limited to federal offenses only, and it excludes impeachment. So they did put that in there. They figured there could be some rogue president who gets impeached and then pardons themselves. And the Supreme Court has upheld this broad and unlimited power. And the president can pardon you at any time, either before, during, or after conviction, even before legal proceedings have been initiated, which is what Joe Biden did with his family and also the members of the House Select Committee who, did the January 6th investigation, and Dr. Fauci, because he knew that people were going to go after these people, and it was going to be completely politically motivated. And honestly, I don't blame him for pardoning his son, because
neither do I.
His son, I mean, like I said, he was in the throes of addiction and did a couple stupid things.
Well, and if this was Eric Trump, I would understand why Trump would do it. Yeah. Like, I mean, whether you like Biden or not, you get why someone would do that. Yeah.
Exactly. That's kind of a no-brainer. The president can just do it on their own unilaterally, or a lot of requests for pardons come through the office of the pardon attorney, and the people review the pardons. And so that used to be the process much more, is they would go through this office, and then, at the end of the president's term, or sometimes the end of the year, or whatever, they would go through these recommendations from the office saying, I think you should pardon these people, and this is why. And, it's gotten a bit out of control, I think.
Very out of control.
So, if you go back, you can look online, you can see the number of pardons that different presidents gave. And some of them are interesting. Like, Jimmy Carter, he pardoned all the people who were prosecuted for, draft dodgers from the Vietnam War. After the Civil War, Andrew Jackson pardoned a lot of ex-Confederates. So a lot of these are political things where things happen and they try to right wrongs, which is part of what the pardon power is about. But and even recently, Clinton only either pardoned or commuted sentences for 459 people. George W. Bush, 200 people. Obama, 1,927 people.
Oh, wow.
But he did a lot of people who had been, they had those really harsh drug sentences for
ridiculous. 30 years for weed.
Right. Nonviolent drug-related crimes. Trump, in his first term, had 1,700 pardons. Biden, one-term president, 4,245.
And I can understand if you're not a Biden fan, you might be like, "Whoa, boy, these Democrats love to pardon people." I guess so.
Yeah, but again, his also were, a lot of them were, for these nonviolent crimes, and that includes, like I said, commuting sentences. This is not just setting all these people free or whatever.
Yeah,
because. Like, he commuted the sentences of everyone who was on federal death row, like all but 3 people. Stuff like that. It's like, it's the sentencing, like trying to right the wrongs of the sentencing.
Yeah.
So, but then Trump, on day one of this second term, pardoned 1,600 people for January 6th related crimes.
Yes.
And it seems like Trump is always talking about a pardon now.
Yeah, he loves to pardon. He just loves, and this is part of this problem, which is so the Chrisleys now have to, because we can see very clearly a pardon is there to right a wrong. So so now they're making it this whole political thing, right? You're back to the politics of we are just some poor white entitled people. And we were with money to burn, and we were wrongfully, we were wrongfully convicted of this thing that, I don't know where I was going with this. I just lost my train of thought. But
it's political rather than, like you said, for clemency or righting wrongs or correcting things in history.
Yes. Sorry. So yes, and so they're having to make this political, but it's like, I really would have liked to ask them, like, so please explain to us, how are they writing? What is the wrong? What is the wrong that's being right? And according to the Chrisleys, well, we're innocent.
We're innocent. Yeah.
But that's very different than someone who says, yeah, there was weed in my car, but I got 30 years or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
I had a hard time with this. These people, I just wanted to smack them.
Yeah. Because if you're applying for a pardon or clemency, that's one of the elements.
Yes.
Remorse, rehabilitation, all that kind of stuff, whether it's a pardon or it's parole, probation, whatever.
Some awareness
And some good reason. But now, I don't know. It's just anyone who wants one. And look, this is really, if the tables were turned and these people were Democrats and Biden pardoned them, I'd be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, this has nothing to do with politics or Trump in my mind. It's like, these people don't deserve a pardon.
No, they don't. And that's part of this problem, is we are bastardizing the pardon. Pardons have now become political. And they've become political, and they've become, I believe, about money.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm sorry. I just find it hard to believe that there wasn't something else going on here.
Yeah, I remember hearing about a large donation. I don't know where it came from. I don't think it came directly from the Chrisleys, because I don't think they have any money. Except for whatever advance they're getting for this TV show. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And did you hear that one thing that they were showing old scenes of the show when Savannah was much younger? She's like, oh, thank God for plastic surgery. I'm like, oh, God, so you are a beautiful young woman. I thought she was prettier before she did all this weird crapple. I mean, this stuff to her face. You're 28.
All these people are so vain and superficial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The whole thing about Julie being caught without, her signature blonde hair and la, la, la. And, you really weren't you were talking to us about the conditions in prison, but the way you were kind of describing your life, Todd, it was like, so you got up every day, I went to the library, I read 119 books, I worked out, I got jacked, never afraid of they were never afraid of their being hurt themselves. And so it's
exactly.
So you were never afraid. So the thing that you're never afraid, you were not targeted. And you're telling me, again, the conditions are awful, and I'm with you. And even for you, Chrisley, Todd Chrisley, I can't stand you. I still feel like you need to be treated. I believe you should be treated humanely. So I'm with you on that. But the way you're describing, what your prison life, it was a little bit like, okay.
Well, they were in a camp. They said that because I don't know who it was in the show made a comment of how, well, if you qualify for camp, you should qualify for home confinement. And
it's like, no,
not really. But I believe these were camps. This is low level security. These are financial crimes. So they're in there with other people who committed financial crimes. They're not in there with hardened killers and hardened criminals.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why they weren't scared, was because everyone was kind of in the same boat.
But it was just kind of like, I wouldn't do any work for anyone, for the government, because I guess Julie was driving a forklift, like maybe doing the garden. Maybe
she had a job for like 5 cents an hour or whatever.
Yeah, and so she had it. Julie was out there keeping busy. And he's like, I'm not going to give any of my money to the government. This is what I did. I read. I did. It was just like, okay.
Well, yeah, we know you don't give money to the government. You were convicted of tax evasion.
Yes, no shit. We all know that.
Yeah.
You don't pay your taxes.
Yeah, and you just told on yourself, Todd. What are you doing?
Yes.
Okay, well, learned a lot. So
yeah, I know. Would you watch the show?
I would maybe watch like a couple episodes out of curiosity. Maybe, but again, I don't even think I could find it or when it's on or if it's on. I don't even know if I get USA Network.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know even how to access it. Well, this other one's going to be on Lifetime. I mean, I didn't watch the show to begin with, so I'm certainly not going to support them now. I am one of these people that has a problem. I have a hard time, once I kind of get, especially if you're a reality star. Actors, I think, are a little different. Reality star is based on who you are.
Right.
And you told us, you weren't acting like a real estate developer. You weren't acting like you had all this money. You told us you did. And then, but you don't. So I don't know who you are. So quite frankly, I do think that that's a reason not to tune in. That's just me. But one thing before, okay. Do you remember what their first meal was after all the shitty food?
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Not even a good pizza place.
Yeah.
Not even like, oh, this is the best. I mean, I could see wanting pizza for sure. But like, this is the best pizza in our, this is my favorite pizza. Whatever. Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut? Ugh. Really? Trash. And their first trip, he went to Nordstrom's because, of course, you were convicted for financial crimes. You got so lucky. You made a deal with the devil and you got a pardon. Where's the first place you go? Nordstrom's. Because he's got to get clothes. I
want to go home.
Yeah. He's got to get
Don't
clothes.
You have enough clothes?
Yes.
What happened to all that closet full of clothes? Where did it go?
He's jacked now, Brooke. He's jacked.
Oh.
He needs new clothes. All that money on clothes, that big closet, can't wear any of it. He's too jacked now. Way too jacked for all of this. And then we go through this whole story of him being like, well, the paparazzi was chasing me around Nordstrom. So I put a paper bag on my head and I, blah, 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 and it's like, you're not Beyonce. You're not. You were acting like, well, if they aren't going to leave me alone, I'm just going to keep the bag on my head. I'm like, oh, dear God. Like,
well, and then Savannah and her mother, where do they stop? At the butcher shop.
Because she had to show her favorite butcher place.
Yeah. And that's where they caught the picture of her with her hair, not dyed. And I actually think she looked better as a brunette, but okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand these people.
Ugh. When this whole thing came out and I saw this annoyed me then, and it annoys me now, but I don't know why I'm annoyed, because this is just par for the course of the world that we live in today.
Unfortunately.
So, and hey, I'm so sorry if you're white and entitled.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard
really
out there for a white guy.
Yeah. I mean, the government's going to come after you and people are going to go into your emails and claim that you slept with them. That could happen to anybody. So white people.
So look out, white people.
Look out. Look out.
Look alive. Look alive. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy us and you would like extra content other than what's on our free feed, we have a Patreon where you can get these episodes ad-free. We do a weekly bonus episode about pop culture and talk a little bit more about our lives. And for our higher tier, we do special bonus content every month. We do a true crime just for the Patreon. And we do a Ask Us Anything. We are on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We would appreciate it if you would subscribe not only to the podcast, but subscribe to our YouTube channel, Psych Legal Pop, on all platforms. That would help us a lot. It would help us if you gave us a review, 5-star review. And we are on all the social medias. So Psych Legal Pop everywhere.
Yes.
Spread the word.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
That new thing? Yeah, we've got it. The Drop by GNC, bringing you all the newness that matters, handpicked by the pros who actually know what's up and what's proven to work. We keep you on top of the trends and dialed into what's next. Whether you're crushing it at the gym, leveling up your game, or thriving every day, The Drop by GNC is where the latest solutions in health and wellness land first. Non-stop innovation and fresh finds daily. Explore what's new and what's next on The Drop by GNC.
All right, ladies.
When you've done the work, you want your hydration to do the same. Introducing new Gatorade Lower Sugar, now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. And 75% less sugar and all the electrolytes of regular Gatorade, now available nationwide.